Six people, one of whom is a Department of Agriculture employee who worked in the fraud division of the Department of Agriculture, go figure, have been busted on a $66 million fraud ring. Now, this is what they found, and I've got a couple of clips here, and if you listen to Secretary Brooke Rollins, who I like, uh, she seems to insinuate that there's more than just this case. Now, I'm going to play you a couple of clips so you know what's going on, but this started in 2019. A guy by the name of Michael Kehoe orchestrated a network that supplied approximately 160 unauthorized EBT terminals to stores across the New York area to illegally process more than $30 million in EBT transactions. Working with his co-defendants, Mohammed Nawafle, Omar Al-Razdway, Gamal Obaid, Ahmad Al-Raste, same thing, and Arlasa Davis. And Arlasa Davis happened to be the USDA employee, submitted approximately 200 fraudulent USDA applications, misappropriating USDA license numbers, and in some cases, doctoring application documents to obtain EBT terminals for unauthorized stores, including smoke shops and other ineligible businesses. So, yeah, I'll finish the story up. Let's let you hear from other people on this real quick. Howdy, y'all. This is Paul, the Redneck Thinker. What we have here is a channel to communicate. I want you folks to be thinking by the time you leave my videos. Why? Because I'm tired of people talking via what other people tell them to think. So, watch my video and enjoy the chance to think for yourself.
Tonight, 6 people are now charged with a huge fraud and bribery scam targeting food stamps. Listen to this. One of the arrested people in this, a USA employee, that's the government agency that oversees food stamp benefits. According to the Justice Department, the group set up a network that supplied approximately 160 unauthorized EBT terminals to stores across the New York area. Those terminals then illegally processed more than $30 million in EBT transactions. And the USDA employee who's charged actually worked in the division responsible for identifying food stamp fraud. Earlier this month, we highlighted a national scam in our special report, Faces of the Forgotten. Thousands of people in Alabama have had millions of dollars stolen from their EBT accounts. And for the last 5 months, they say they have not been reimbursed.
But first, there's this. A Department of Agriculture employee and 5 others under arrest this morning, accused of a multi-million-dollar food stamp fraud and bribery scheme. The U.S. Attorney's Office for the Southern District of New York calling this one of the largest food stamp frauds in U.S. history. Joining me now is the U.S. Secretary of Agriculture, Brooke Rollins. Secretary, it's great to have you this morning. What can you tell us about this?
Well, good morning, Maria. It's always so great to be with you. And you are coming from one of my favorite places in America. So it's really great to see you there. Listen, this is a new day, and President Trump promised as he was traveling across the country over the last few years that it would not be the government that we know. The government certainly that under Joe Biden exponentially grew, and alongside that, including the fraud and waste and abuse. And so at USDA, we are hyper-focused on rooting out that waste, fraud, and abuse. And to your point, yesterday was, if not the largest, one of the largest stings. And moving forward and finding that fraud, I think almost $70 million that is no longer going to be allowed here in Washington and with these programs like the food stamp program. So we're going to move forward, obviously, in partnership with the FBI, with the Department of Justice, of course, our team at USDA. This is not the one and only. There are going to be many more to come. And we're going to make sure that we're delivering on our promises to the taxpayers.
So the prosecutors and the authorities are saying that this person defrauded the SNAP program, right? Also known as food stamps, $66 million in unauthorized transactions.
That's right. Well, the food stamp program is one of the largest government programs across the federal government. And obviously, I've talked on this show and other shows that it's time for real effective change. Part of that $200 billion annual program, the best sort of estimate is between 20 to 30% of that is fraud, waste, and abuse. The $66 million that was announced yesterday on behalf of USDA and the others that were part of that, again, is just the tip of the spear. And the way that works, Maria, the EBT cards is what USDA, the government, uses to provide that supplemental nutrition assistance, which is the food stamps, and that it's a fairly easy thing to do. We're trying to lock it down right now to ensure that it doesn't keep happening. But when you've got employees that basically don't follow the law, then we've got to fix it, and that's what we're doing. There's going to be real consequences for breaking the law across America's federal government with President Trump, but this is just one of many more to come.
So you heard all that. And is it just me, or does not Brooke Rollins happen to be suggesting that there could be more coming out soon? But I read you the first part of this. Critical to the scheme was Arlassa Davis, a longtime USDA employee who worked with the very division of the USDA responsible for identifying SNAP fraud. Davis abused her privileged access to federal systems to sell hundreds of EBT license numbers, enabling over $36 million in fraudulent SNAP redemptions at unauthorized stores. Davis photographed handwritten lists of license numbers intended for qualifying stores with a personal cell phone and funneled them to an intermediary who sold them to co-conspirators, including the people that are mentioned earlier, who then used those license numbers to fraudulently obtain EBT terminals for stores that were not authorized by USDA to process SNAP transactions. In return, Davis received substantial bribes that were disguised in communications as, among other things, birthday gifts and flowers. So some of these folks are facing 20 years or 15 years or 10 years in prison. I mean, this is all up to the judge, but thankfully this was found by the USDA OIG working with USDA, FBI. So $66 million is what they total found in just this one. They keep talking about this waste, fraud, and abuse. Well, guess what? It's starting to be found, and it's going to be taken out. I'm liking this. So, this has been Paul, the Redneck Thinker. I hope you have a good day. Bye now. So, folks, that's the story that I wanted to bring you on this video. And I just wanted to say thank you again for coming by. Hit like, subscribe, comment, all that fun stuff if you don't mind. Help me out. So, y'all have a good day now. Bye.